The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 307 of the Heart of LAC podcast. We're calling this one Making a Statement for very obvious reasons, as we took down the top-seeded team in the West and made it not look that kind of hard. I don't know. It seemed pretty easy, at least it looked that way because of all the work the guys put in. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective, right? Proper chess match, moving around, getting it done. Getting 3 shots on goal and making it all work. Little special for us. We don't do that all the time. So it's kind of a fun game to watch, a different kind of game to watch. And yes, we didn't forget the sha-la-la. We finally got to do it again. And guess what? Everybody remembered how to do it. So win all the way around. Of course, we're also going to preview the next match since we have another road match before the little break. And of course, talk rumors, and more rumors as they're flying all over the place. So yes, it will be a little bit busy. And of course, if you have something to say, throw it out there. We want to hear from you guys. When we get into the comments, we definitely want to go for it. If you got rumors, we'll definitely chew on that too. All right. To make it happen, though, we got to bring back our crew. We've got Araceli and Tony in the mix. I'm going to start with Tony this time. How are you doing, sir?
What's going on, you guys? I'm a little bit exhausted. I'm running on 6 hours of sleep in the past 2 days. But I'm ecstatic that we finally won, especially against St. Louis. And we showed them who was truly the defending MLS Cup champions, and we're back to somewhat format where we should have been.
A little bit of humble pie for St. Louis. That is for certain. Araceli, how are you doing?
I'm a little jealous that Tony says that he got at least 6 hours of sleep, whereas I feel like I've been running on literal fumes at this point. It has been an extremely long week, but aside from all of that, I am just happy that I will be back in town very soon. I've actually spent today just doing nothing but preparing for the trip, and I mean, it's overwhelming. A good overwhelming, of course, but it's been a week.
It's going to be a circus, right? You're going to get here. Wrexham's coming to town. It should be a lot of fun. It will be pretty wild. Yeah, we're all looking forward to seeing you local, right? And having a great time with it. It's going to be great. Yeah, much needed rest for some of us, but for you, the exact opposite. When we're the least busy, you're the most busy, and that's just how it's got to be. But hey, we're all going to be tuning in. We're all going to be checking out what you're doing. And of course, full support from our end. Have a good time with that. We did get to see Ben at the game. Ben Verhen. Got a little bit of a reunion with him yesterday. He, of course, now works for St. Louis. He's down on the field doing what he had to do, helping the boys get in, get out, get set up. He does pretty much jack of all trade work for those guys. So it was good to see him back. Of course, we took the win. That's always fun to do. But yeah, he looked busy. He looked happy. And we're just more than proud to see what he's doing over there. So that was excellent. Now, getting into the game, let's do that first. I know there's trades y'all want to talk about. We'll get to it in the comments, but let's talk about the game itself, of course. Yes, we won this thing 3-0. Yes, it looked great. We got goals from probably the guys getting the most heat from everybody on the field. All decided to show up for this one as Vela, Buke, and Cifuentes did the deed, got the job done. Of course, with an amazing supporting cast on the day. Now, lineups, hey, they weren't kind of what we were expecting in a way. We had McCarthy in goal, of course. Maldonado and Chiellini did the run out at center back. We had Hollingshead and Palacios on the outside. So, yes, our main core defense was in play. And, of course, we play very different when it all is put together. Midfield, of course, was Sanchez, Acosta, Cifuentes. Tillman was the guy that got to get some rest from the start. So that was the odd man out. Now, up top was Bogus, Bouanga, and Vela. I know our debate was who's going to play with Vela and Bouanga because we knew they were going to go. Well, it was Bogus this time. So that's where we went. The other side, of course, had some modifications needed. Of course, Berkey was in goal. They had Bell, Bartlett, Nerwinski, and Nelson as their back line. Indiana Vasilev, Blom, and Ostrak were their central midfielders, with Pampo on the left and Alma on the right. Up top, Giochini this time, so they actually went with the one-man high. Little different what they normally do, but hey, they made their adjustments as needed to get into this game. Now, looking through it, it was not easy. We kind of joked that it was. It really wasn't easy, as Tony's going to explain, as we, let's be honest, didn't have a shot in goal until way late into this match. It was definitely a chess match. So, Tony, I'm going to throw that to you, because really the first match, pretty much we canceled ourselves out, right?
Yeah, the first half, it was kind of it was more of a like chess game, like going back and forth. There wasn't really much happening. It's everyone feeling each other out. Again, from what I gathered, it wasn't their quote unquote starting lineup, and because they were missing a few guys,
Two
but
impact players. Yeah.
yeah. So the first half wasn't really the greatest. There was chances on both sides, but nothing to write home about. But not until the second half, where everything kind of got everything back into gear. With that being said, 72nd minute, Carlos Vela with a left-footed shot from the center of the box into the high right center of the goal, assisted by who else? Cifuentes, which is first assist of the game. It opened the floodgates, because not even 10 minutes later, Buke finally scores off a pretty much a breakaway 2v2, assisted by Bouanga. Bouanga takes it down the left-hand side, takes the defender, finds Buke wide open in the center, and Buke all it has to do is just put it away, and he finally did that. And another 10 minutes go by, and another goal, this time by Cifuentes, with a beautiful, beautiful assist on a fast break from Ordaz to find Sifu in the center, and he put that one away and had a nice little celebration for a couple people, and ended up after that goal, you see St. Louis just kind of put up the white flag and surrender, because they were just sat down and were like, what just happened?
Dropped their heads.
Yeah. So, and ended up taking 3 points, back in second place, and that was the last home game for the first half of the season, and then we have one more game coming up, but good way to leave it at that at home.
I mean, so many storylines in this game, which made it even better, right? We have Vela scoring on a breakaway. The guy everybody said was too old and too slow, and couldn't keep up with the bigger back lines, and this dude scores on a freaking breakaway off of an amazing pass from Sifu, who we've known has been struggling with those types of passes, and when he does, guys usually waste them. Bring in Stipe Buke, and his finish, again, a great start to the play, right? The flick and a cross over from Bouanga that just perfectly arced to him, and just no hesitation finish. I mean, that critical play for all involved. And then finally the Cifuentes goal. We said Ordaz was due. We thought maybe due for a goal. Well, he's due for an assist. We'll take that too. He's still on the scoring sheet, right? He still gets listed. He still gets a point. Good for him. I gotta say, watching how active he was when he was on the field was very impressive yet again. It's only gonna be a matter of time before he puts one in the net himself. Interesting things about this is, I know Tony was saying they were missing players. To be honest, we started scoring goals after they made their changes, after the substitutions that they wanted, including bringing Edward Lowen back into the lineup after he had missed. He is one of their big shots. He is their number 10. After the subs is when they really fell apart. So, make the complaints if you want about the lineups, but they brought in offense to take us down at a 0-0, and it backfired at the end of the day. It truly did backfire, and our changes beat their changes, and really that was a big reason why we took this game. Is just we adjusted better than they did. They thought they were going in for the kill. Little did they realize we were going in for the counter, and it paid itself off big time. A big win for us, a critical win for us. And yes, the Cifuentes drama, I was entertained by it. I gotta be honest. The shush, the ball in the belly, like there's all stuff going on in his head. That's for sure. But it was fun to see. And I'm good with it. I'm good with the player having a little bit of swagger and a kickback when people are throwing out personal attacks at him. And I get it. I'd probably do the same thing. Why not? Um, Make it happen. If you're putting the work in, that's cool. If you're not, you heal more. I mean, it's just the way the game is. But hey, they got the job done on the day. Puts us in a good position for our next match. Gives us a little more than a little momentum, big momentum, going into our final match before the break on the road in Minnesota, which will not be an easy game, even though they've had an up and down season. Never going to be easy when you go to their house. So this was a good one for them, a good one for us to take home. And of course, yeah, I think I missed the beer showers. Tony, did you miss the beer showers? Look at Tony over here, freezing on me here.
What the oh, sorry. There you go. I was like, I was unmuted. I missed them completely. Honestly, it was nice to have them. Water showers for me, but because I was just throwing my water bottle all over the place. But it was nice. It was nice just to have those back again and see that people still know how to do that.
Dude, hugs, high fives. It's just, again, the carnival vibe that we get in the North End was back. The swagger was back, especially after that third goal. It was just, yeah, a lot of energy to burn. You could tell we were saving it. It got so loud. It was beautiful. And of course, that means we could get loud for longer stages, guys. But it was nice to see. It was nice to hear. It was nice to see how dialed in the drums were on the day. Yeah, it's what we're looking for. Definitely. It was much needed for all involved. Now, looking at the possession, looking at the match, like I said, the big stat to me, the standout one was we only got 3 on goal, and that's all 3 went in. That's something we rarely ever do. It's a good thing to see. Araceli, your impressions, of course, on the result, and how do you think the team's going to take to this? And do you think this is that bounce back match for us?
I think it was a very positive result overall, and definitely the confidence booster that the team needed, especially moving into the break. And hopefully, it's a momentum that they can keep building on, or when Leagues Cup starts. Hopefully, now I will say this: last night I was working late, so unfortunately I couldn't really watch the first half of the match. But I did manage to tune in around the 60th minute, I believe it was, because shortly after is when Carlos Vela scored that banger and the floodgates open. So I'll just say that y'all welcome. Once I joined, everyone started scoring. But on a serious note, it was a good watch for sure. And Nathan Ardaz, I don't know. Could we say that he's almost the next Eric Duenas in the sense that he's starting to be that come up now?
I think they're gaining confidence in him. Staff definitely is. I think everybody's looking high on him right now. Of course, he's got to get one in the net, right? We got to have that moment for him, right? Really important. But again, they serve a different purpose, right? They do. It's a very different purpose. For Duenas, I think you have more room to develop. I mean, you're a midfielder. There's more options to get into the game. There's more rotation. You have more time on ball than, say, Ordaz, who is in a high-powered offense thrown into it, and the guys he's replacing, you don't have much room for error. You have to go in and make an impact with the limited time that you have. It is very high pressure in his moment. And what I love to see about the kid is his expressions. He never looks nervous. He just plays. And I think that's where I get the most excited is constant scanning, constant moving, and just being in that moment, knowing where he's at and not being nervous about it. He just plays. He just plays. So yeah, higher pressure, I think, for him to actually make an impact on the team than Duenas because of the role. There's one purpose, right? Or two purposes. That's all you get. But he's showing it. And this is the first game where you can actually look on the scoring sheet and go, yeah, there he was. Like he's here, he's present. So yeah, let's see what happens on the next one. I don't be surprised by minutes in Minnesota. He should get minutes in Minnesota. Right, Ursula? I mean, you're expecting it, right?
Oh, I'm expecting 100%. And everything you just said, I do fully agree with. I'm just meaning in the sense that we've seen our dads earn more minutes and he's starting to, see more playing time, which is great in his development. Very similar situation to Duenas. Obviously, they're both widely different positions, but I'm trying to compare it in the sense of it did take Duenas a couple of games before we really started seeing the rise of Eric, if you will. Now we're starting to see that repeat for Nathan. So you never know.
The boys are developing these guys right. Minus that fiasco at the Rose Bowl, things seem to be on schedule, you know, as they should be. Of course, that was a spectacle, so what a shock. But yeah, good on everybody on this one. It's looking right. Tony, your impressions on the match itself?
Overall, this is the team that we should have been if we had the rest and preparation for all games.
Yeah.
It's what what do we expect from all the players who have scored and who helped again with Ordaz. If I remember right, wasn't he highly touted when we first signed him? And um, out of the three, because I know Torres was already getting the fame of with the sponsorships, everything, local boy, and everything like that. Duenas was the kind of the surprise, but I think Ordaz was also very high up there with Torres when we first got him.
Yeah, highly touted as a promising, prospect, ultimately. Did we know he'd be what he is? I don't think so, but they knew the potential was there. That's for sure. We'll see how it keeps going with him. I mean, it's good news so far. So, only looking up on this one. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Fair.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, the other thing that we might want to talk about, and I think the guys in the comments are going to toss that out there. There might be one other factor that we're not really thinking about off the top of our heads is why they played the way they played in this game. Simply put, the transfer window is open. Someone could be coming in. The guys might already know who's coming in. Now everybody's got to scramble and fight to keep their jobs, right? There's a different kind of pressure if a new face is coming in, or two, or three, where now everybody's job is under threat because someone's got to come off the field for new faces, right? So now's the time. If you don't step up now, you're going to be watching these games, and that is an added pressure that we kind of needed. We needed that, and hopefully that's another play that we're not seeing yet, but we'll see soon. That's for sure. Maybe there's something up to it as our scouts from South America and everybody's getting their rings for this game. That was cool to see too. So a lot of faces are in town right now that are part of our technical staff. Just saying. Could be interesting. All right, let's throw it out to 3 stars, and I'm gonna go with you, Araceli, first. Where are you looking on your 3 stars?
This is a tough one. Bella, Sifu, and Buke.
Buke. Okay, so top star Vela.
Yes, sorry.
There we go. All right, Tony.
Top star, I would say Buke, Sifu second, and Ordaz for the performance at Ipu.
There we go. For mine, I'm gonna give one to McCarthy because he got a shutout. Yeah, I gotta give Sifu second star, simply because dude got a goal and an assist, man. Like, what are you gonna do there? And then Vela, of course, for getting a breakaway goal. That's pretty darn impressive. So those are my 3 honorable mention, of course, to Bouanga for the setup. Ilie for keeping this thing glued together. Let's be honest, if he's not out there, we don't get this result. That simple. But yeah, this is one where you could have 6 stars because they were doing the work. They're getting the job done, doing the not so fun stuff and not so glamorous stuff to get us through. And of course, the backline getting a shutout. It's impressive. It is. All right, let's move it on forward. And guys, it is time for you to join the conversation. Give us your 3 stars. Tell us your thoughts on the game. Let's make it happen. All right. Going into the comments, let's see who's up top here. We have Jason Ariano. He says, a much needed win now for a much needed rest. One more to go. One more. We can't rest yet. We got one more game. And then we can talk about rest, right? They got to show up in Minnesota. They've got to show up in Minnesota. Burke was all about those beer showers. His beer showers were great last night. There we are. By the way, Burke, that is a fantastic picture on your profile. I'm just gonna say, it's like you're in a music video. It's pretty impressive, sir. He says one of the dudes in the cage kept yelling Panama before the match. Not cool. One of the dudes in the cage, he has an issue with karma. I'm just saying, karma is a bitch, man. Tempt fate enough, and you'll be watching somebody else lift a trophy too. I'm just saying, it is the way it is. Question to you, Tony: are you going to the game on Sunday?
No, I don't have the prices for that. Unfortunately, I already know that, and also I don't think it's that safe to go to a Mexico game for quite a bit, especially with what happened in San Francisco or San Clarita.
Oh, or Santa Clara, you mean?
Santa Clara,
Right?
sorry. Yep.
Yeah. No, not gonna give Santa Clarita hell for this. You guys don't need to get credit for that. No. The other problem is I think the cheapest thing we saw was like tickets, at least of the cheapest, were like 150 plus range.
Yeah.
Dude, that's brutal. That's brutal. I gotta be honest. If the US did get into it, I probably would sneak my way in, but it's a final. But still, yeah, prices are gross for sure. Those going though, good on you for going. Those not, I get it. We can't blame you for this one at those prices. That's for sure. Burke says, I said it earlier this week. Give Ordaz more minutes. Also, something I never thought I would say, but Buke was a game changer when he was subbed in. Look, he is growing. I know, right? Because guess what? He was good against Carson as well. He had the setup. We should have had an equalizer from his setup. He did the job. He's starting to do the job, guys. Slowly but surely, we're seeing signs of life. That's for sure from him. Drove us crazy for the most part, but now Buke is having moments, and that's a good thing. We only want to see the best from our guys. So if he's starting to grow, good. That's perfect for us. It all works itself out, especially if he starts taking off here as we get into Leagues Cup and making our run for the playoffs. We need him. We need him to step up. This is good news. That's for sure. And yeah, Ordaz, yeah. I think we're on the Ordaz train. That's for sure. Q Carty is here. Good seeing you on here. Q says, "What's up, peeps? I hope this game gives Stipe the confidence. And my goodness, Bogusz was all over the place, running everywhere. Keep him in the midfield for sure. Dude, it's his real job. It's his real job. Play him where he belongs." How many times have we seen this with players on our side, always playing out of position, and you get the negative opinions about them because they're doing what coach wants to do, right? Not what they want to do and what they need to do to stay on the field. And they don't play their best because they're learning on the job. Guess what, folks? I think we know where Bogusz belongs. So I'm with you, Q, man. I like him. I don't like him as much as a winger. Real. All right. Marcial in the mix. He says Sifu, Vela, and Daniel Maldonado as his choices. Yeah, you get a shutout. You earn that as on the back line, right? We haven't had those, so that's a good news. Sifu Vela, yeah. Good on you, Marcial. Love it, man. Thanks for posting up. All right. So it looks like our comments for right now. We'll get you guys another round. I know there's some rumor mill stuff that a few are going to definitely want to talk about. We could throw it in the second round as well. So there you go. 3 stars of the match, all that fun stuff. I know it's on, guys. Let's see here. Is it that moment? It is that moment. It's LAFC community news, and I know Tony's got some fun stuff for us. Where are we all watching the game this weekend, Tony?
The most crowded public big watch party that we have is with Black Army, Pride Republic, D9U, TSG, Expos, and crew at Casey's Irish Pub at 613 South Grand Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 917. Doors open at 3. What is it, Momo? Doors open at 3. Game starts at 5:30. So get there early to secure a spot. I hear it gets really busy, especially with pretty much almost the whole 3252 there, minus a couple other SGs. Yeah. And if you can't make it to those, I know crew is still having their watch party at Angry Horse Brewery, 603 West Whittier Boulevard, Montebello, California. D9U is going to have one at Corner Pocket at 685 South SA Street, Oxnard, California, 93030. And those are the watch parties so far. And as well as TSG is doing a senior housing essential drive. So what they need from you guys is toiletry, so toilet paper, shampoo, razors, toothpaste, etc. For bed and bath, they need towels, bath mats, trash cans, brooms and dustpans, blankets and comforters. For the kitchen, they need forks, spoons, knives, spatulas, wooden spoons, knives, and etc. for that. And the last thing is clothing. So they need house slippers, socks, and female/male underwear.
There we go. Yeah, underwear and socks honestly is like the critical. It really is. So everything is needed. Definitely please contribute. All right, we are going to throw this over right away to the LAFC2 update. Not the happiest of news, but I guess there was some encouragement from it all, right, Araceli?
It wasn't the greatest result, but there were a few positives from it at least. So last night was the first edition of El Trafichico. I know we're not all fans of the name, but it is what it is. Between LAFC2 and Carson. The game was held in Carson, and LAFC2 ultimately fell to them 4-3, but it wasn't without a fight. In the first half, they battled it out, but unfortunately, Carson topped them going into the half 2-0. But around the 60th minute, it just started flying for them. Where is this? I lost it in my notes. Here we are. Apologies. Adrian Wibowo? I am sorry if
Uh,
I'm mispronouncing this
we
completely.
Wibowo.
Wibowo. There we go. Thank you. He made his debut last night and as well scoring his first goal in the 69th minute, which started the comeback for LAFC2, followed up with a penalty from Fabian Vesquez, who scored in the last match. So he has now scored in 2 matches back to back. And Carson managed to add to their tally just moments after that. Then we see Matheus Maya, if you remember him from Open Cup run. He scored in the 84th minute, bringing the total to 4-3. In the final moments of the match, Carson took down Fabian in the box. It looked like they were going to get a penalty shot that could have sent the game into the shootout, but ultimately the call was dismissed and the game ended 4-3. So heartbreak all around for LAFC2, but as I mentioned, they did not go down without a fight. There's a lot of promise, a lot of fight in those players, which I am glad to see. And now we're starting to see that with the senior team, with Ordaz that we spoke about earlier. Moving forward, the LAC2 goes back on the road as they travel to Minnesota to face MNUFC 2 on Sunday at 6 o'clock Pacific time. The game will be on Apple TV. So, as I've always said, I highly encourage everyone to tune in, check it out, because although the results may not seem promising, the performances alone are worth the watch, at least in my opinion.
There we go. Yeah, bummer we got the loss. Should have got the penalty. It is nice again when the team travels at the same place at the same time. That's really important and good for me. I like that. It's good. Should have made a trip to Minnesota this time. Oh well, not doing it.
Maybe your
There
dad
we go.
can play Saturday and then play with LAFC2 on Sunday. Wishful thinking, but
Limited
because just
minutes.
looking at the bench
Limited
yesterday,
minutes.
they were
Yeah.
not in trouble, but it was a very low bench. They only had 5 available, with one being Colette, the backup keeper. So,
Yeah, if the boys could have played in that game, it would have taken it, without a doubt. It would, if the regulars were taking it. I will say this: Mateus Maya. Keep an eye on this kid. There's something there. That could be another name coming up pretty soon here. Araceli, you're agreeing on this one, right? There's something special with that player.
No, he is special, and I think it's fair to say for most of the team, they are, definitely worth keeping an eye on because, as I mentioned, with our dads and even, um, oh goodness, why am I blanking? Apologies, it's been a very long week. Oh, Jaime, he got call
Hmm.
ups, so the future is bright for these kids.
Yeah, I mean, as a team, they're not quite gelling. We know this, but
Hmm.
individual performers, there's some real deal players here. So, future does look bright. And of course, by next season, they'll get more time together, more gelling, more academy kids coming up. Something will work out. It will definitely work itself out. Now, it's that time. Vinyl Club minutes. I gotta say, this is probably my least prepared, but I had 3 options because, I can never choose anything. Y'all know how I am. So I'm gonna throw this to you guys. Oh, Tony's got one, and then I'm gonna give you some categories. Tony, what do you
For
wanna say,
El,
man?
so for my album of the week, I would say, well, just single of the week. I'm gonna say for El Burke, Panama by Van Halen. That would be a really good song, really hyped up song, and I really like that song at the moment. It was a good workout song too.
Band's American. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Got it, dude. I got it. Rent free, brother. Still thinking about my team. But I'm just saying. You're in a final and you're still talking about my team. But okay, fine. Fine. All right. I was gonna give you 3 options. You choose which door you want to go with. 1, performer in movies all over the place, internationally famous for decades and decades and decades. A 90s post grunge alt band, or a singer songwriter that everybody knows. What do you want to go with?
I'll go one.
1. So that would be the performer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Judy Garland from Minnesota. There you go. You got
Mm,
Judy Garland. So there's your choice. Um, come on. Wizard of Oz, kind of obvious, right? So there you
yeah,
go. Um, yeah,
Kansas
we'll leave it
connection,
at
love
that.
it.
So yeah, there you go, Judy Garland. There you go, and
we're not
yeah,
in
you know,
Kansas anymore, Toto.
no, no, definitely, but we did fly really high, so yeah, we could throw that out there. And those living out there, you might see the northern lights, so that's a little bit like a rainbow, right? Apparently, there's a solar storm, so look up. You might see something special from Minnesota this weekend. I'm just saying. Weird, I get it, but hey, you never know. So that's our choice. He went with, I don't know, vibes, and I went with Judy Garland. So there you go. The win. All right, let's move on. Let's get into it. Why you're here. You want to talk about Minnesota United, why we're going there, what we're doing there, where they're at. It's been an interesting season for them, very up and down, but a lot of typical approach from them. We kind of know what to expect from Minnesota United. Currently, they're sitting just outside of the playoff line, right, Tony? Where are they sitting at right now?
Mm,
Or I'll throw it out there. Fine, I'll throw it out there. They're in 10th place. Again, right
yeah,
outside the playoff line. 7, 6, and 8 record. I got a 4-goal differential. Where are we at? Where are we at? This is beautiful. Second place,
second.
36 points. 2 points out of first place. Again, that was a 6-point swing by getting that win. So we're right in the mix. We have the second best goal difference in the West. It's in striking distance yet again. As bad as we've played for as long as that run has been, yeah, we're right. We're right in the mix, and everybody seemed to fail outside of us around us this week, so that kind of helped too. Except that Real Salt Lake, man, they look real. All right, form wise, how's Minnesota doing, dude?
So they are coming off a win against Houston 3-0. Before that, they lost against Austin 4-1, won against Portland 4-1, tied against Real Salt Lake 2-2, and lost to Montreal 4-0. So there's a pattern. If you can see it, it's either they win decently, really well, or lose
Yeah.
decently, really well.
Yeah, it's really weird. They do get dropped hard when they lose, though. 4 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals. The fact that Austin thumped them for 4 in their house,
Hmm.
pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And then the weird thing is, you know how much we struggled with Houston. The fact that they shellacked them in Houston, kind of a weird vibe, right? A little weird thing. I will say this though, there's probably a big reason for that. Infusion of talent. I think that's the biggest thing. What they were before, what they are now is now a little bit different because of a single player coming into that mix. His name would be, of course, Timu Puki. Yep, Finnish striker. I think they're all-time leading scorer for Finland. But basically, yeah, he's their new star player. He's already producing. He's played 2 games. He's got a goal. He just scored one. So that is happening. Of course, there's some familiar faces like Ismail Tajuri-Shradi, who's in their lineup as well. But there's others, of course. Who's their leading scorer right now, Tony?
Their leading scorer right now is. I'm gonna butcher his name, so
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah, I'm not gonna even attempt.
Want me to
it,
try?
so-
I'll try.
Yes.
We'll call him Chuck for fun, but it's gonna be Bongo Cool Lungwane.
Yeah.
And if I got that right, y'all owe me $5. Because I think I got it right. So yeah. But here's the deal. This is why they bought Pookie. Bankule Lungwane scored 6 goals in 20 matches. I'm going to say it 27 times because I figured this out. Again, 6 goals, 2 assists. That's not going to get you anywhere to have a player only scoring 6 as your top scorer. So obviously, that's why I got Pookie. They still have Reynoso in the mix. Just getting started with them. Garcia, Mender Garcia, Ariaga as well. Yeah, this team again up and down. We're not sure what they're going to show up with each week. I do know this. The other reason why they're also moving players. Hear this injury list, man. Like, if you think we're crying about injuries, again, we got 3 guys out right now. We got Palencia, we got Crepo, and we got Jesus Murillo. And of course, Chiellini's day-to-day for life. We know this. Those guys, on the other hand, check this out. They're missing 7 players due to injury right now. They've got Songbin Jung out, Ryan Yiba, Franco Frankpane, you know that name, Robin Lode, Mikhail Marquez, Kamar Michael Lawrence, and Emmanuel Iwe. Yeah, they're not doing so great when it comes to the injuries. So might explain why they have these giant highs and lows in their performances. But honestly, just look at the last match. It's kind of the real way to see where they belong and what they're doing. Now, what do they line up with? Shocker, a 4-2-3-1. The thing we hate playing against lately, but that's what they're coming at us at. Last game, they had Tapias and Boxall as their backs, St. Clair in goal, Taylor as the right back, Valentin, that's right, Zarek Valentin as their left back. Defensive midfielders were Dotson and Ariaga. Reynoso, of course, is their playmaker. Okay. Lungwane is their right wing in a way or right midfielder, depending on the moment. Rosales is on the left, and now Pookie is their target man up top. Again, he's only played a few games. He is the new star. He is already producing. We better take that freaking seriously because this dude scores on the regular. Looking at the lineup as well, players that you might also see would be Debasi, Will Trapp. You expect him to come in and play defensively. Mender Garcia is their other forward option, and also Tajuri Shradi can come in. It's again a transitional type of team, but they're now looking real because of the lineup changes they've made, because of the purchase they made. They do have that. Also, historically, we don't do so well in Minnesota. Am I right, Tony? I mean, we've had some bad moments up there.
Yeah, we've had it's when we go up there, it's never like, oh, it's a clear cut, we're gonna win, or it's clear cut, we're gonna lose. It's a see a dartboard, throw a dart wherever it lands. That's what happened.
It's a toss up. When we seem to be in best form, we tend to get tripped up there. When we seem to be struggling, then we do well up there. I don't get it. It's Minnesota. Things happen up there. I know somebody's been to Minnesota. Who in this conversation has been to Minnesota? Oh, right. Aracelli's been to Minnesota. For those traveling Araceli, what do you want to tell them? What should they be doing here? Because I know there's a few going up for sure.
Well, I highly doubt anybody will be doing this, but my number one recommendation is to fly in. Do not drive there. In my case, I had to drive through the most boring states, at least. But No,
Trash
I
can
mean,
Nebraska.
in all fairness, Minneapolis, I absolutely loved it. There was a plenty to do. I would need to honestly think about it a little bit. I feel like I'm being put on the spot, but in a good way, of course. um,
Simply put, food is good, right? Food is good.
Definitely get to Juicy Lucy at Matt's. You will not
It
regret
is.
it. But pro tip
Right.
on it, do not bite into it
Mhm.
right away. Wait at least a good 5 minutes and then start eating because it will burn you. If nobody knows what a Juicy Lucy is, it's basically just a regular hamburger and they cook the cheese inside of the burger itself, like in the patty. So when you bite into it, the cheese spills out.
There has to be
Very
a
good.
health code broken somewhere in that thing. Oh my word. The temperatures, the molten. Yeah, it's got a vibe, that's for sure. Yeah. The other thing I will tell you guys from those who went up there, and Araceli will tell you, it's a beautiful stadium, isn't it?
It is. It truly, to me, my own personal opinion here, it really felt like the Minnesota version of BMO Stadium. That is the vibe you
Really
will get of it. It's just
nice,
like BMO
nice.
Stadium, except it's blue.
That right. Yeah, everybody kind of well, yeah, gotta have your colors. I get it. I get it. And of course, not as loud. I'm sure it's not as loud as what we do, but they still
I mean,
acquit
if you
themselves
enjoy
well.
Wonderwall, sure, but
Right. Right. I know I know some of those loons. I've met a few, and there's some good people up there. So it should be a fun time. Have a good time with it. Of course, our team better have a better time with it. It's going to be tough. I think honestly, our real conversation is going to be about us and what we're going to do. Again, we're getting off of a huge win. We've got to focus on getting a second one, or at least getting a point on the road. That's still a good thing for us in the moment. Um, but yeah, going for the kill, probably the better option, knowing that we've got some momentum and people are healthy. So that kind of brings it to what are we going to do in this game? I'm going to go to you, Tony. We're going to go reverse. We always start from the back. Let's start from the front. Let's have fun with this thing. Y'all love the stars anyway. Tony, who are your top three, man? Who's going up there?
Since it's the final game, we have a little bit of rest. I think we just go out with a bang, and I say,
Mhm.
Vela, Boanga, and Buke.
He's earned it, hasn't he? The
Mhm.
start. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm with you on that one. I agree with you. Araceli, what do you think? Are they going to shift things up top? I know Bogu started last time. Is it going to be Buick this time?
um, yeah, I can see Buke taking the starting role.
Yeah, he's kind of earned it. He has. Midfield, the other story, though, right? Last time was Sanchez, Acosta, Cifuentes, and you can mix them around all you want. You know, they move all over the place. Um, is it Tillman's turn this time? Are we going to get him in there, and at whose expense? And I'll go to you, Araceli, first.
I would like to see Tillman get some minutes.
What are the chances we get a little crazy with this, and it's Tillman, Duenas, and Acosta for this one? Tony, I'll go to you.
I like that, but I'll go even crazier and put more pressure with my starting lineup in the front three:
Okay.
Sanchez, Tillman, and Bogus.
Hey, I would love that. I want to see more Bogus mid, just like everyone else in the chat. We want to see Bogus in the mid. We want to see what he can
Mhm.
do there. I am totally with you on this, dude. I would dig it. It would be cool. I'm not sure he's gonna do that, but yeah, it would make sense. All right. Now, backline. Chiellini played, which means the next day he doesn't. I think that's kind of the pattern, right, guys? So what's the backline gonna? Well, hey, Long's back. Hey, I went there. Long is definitely back, right? Has he been released? He should be released.
He should be.
Yeah. So
They got knocked out by Panama, so he should be back.
yeah. So okay, Tony. Now it's on you, Mr. Panama. Who's your center backs?
If since it seems like he didn't play too much in that game from what I saw. Well, he played a little bit, and he was still maybe he'll rest, but he has the same amount of rest as everybody else. And it was in didn't they play? It was in
Played in
California, so
San
there's two.
Diego.
Yeah, so it's not that much far difference.
Nobody went
and
to
he's
the game, but they played in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah. So I would say long. I'll put Maldonado in there, and then of course the tried and true on the right and the left, Palacios and
The
Haaland.
usual suspects. Okay.
Yeah.
I get you on that one. Again, Chiellini doesn't go back to back. We already know this, especially midweek versus weekend. It's just I don't remember him doing that on the norm. So I'll go to you, Araceli. We're gonna break the norm and let Chiellini play on short rest, or are we gonna throw Long into this mix or someone else?
If we're
All
willing to go
subs, you know
crazy with the
that.
midfield, then let's go crazy and put Chiellini in there. You guys know I love to see the Chiellini and Maldonado pairing, but it does make
Yeah, that's a
sense
good one.
to throw Long in there.
And then, of course, Fall's kind of hanging out, right? I mean, are we going to trust him going back there or just super sub this kid?
I
Araceli.
would give him another chance
Okay.
and
Who's going to have
start
to
him.
get one eventually? Start
Mhm.
him? I mean, that would make sense, but not with Maldonado. That would scare me. Yeah, it didn't look so great before. I'll say this. I think it's going to be Long Maldonado just because they do play okay together. And Long's fine. He's probably in better shape now than when he's with us. Honestly, that tends to happen when you go play with the national team, kind of at a different wavelength, you know. So definitely he gets in there. All right, and of course McCarthy in goal. Why would it be anybody else? We need to get points. We're in a race. We're in the race. All right, so that is our line. I'll throw this one out to you guys. Tony, what do you need to see from our side outside of course, better, you know, strike rate? What do we need to see from our guys to really get a result on the road in Minnesota?
From Minnesota, what I'd like to see besides the finishing and is the midfield to take control of the whole game with completing passes. And I'm not talking about the difficult passes. I'm talking about like the very simple, like elementary fundamental passes. And that's my go-to for the I would want to see during this game is those simple passes to be connected, and then key passes will eventually be there if those are made are connected. Those the difficult passes are made a little bit easier because of that.
There it is. I'm with you, man. How many times in this game we see guys try to pull off no look passes, flick passes to nothing, when if they would have just done the turn and hit, they would have had open guy on the far post. Like it drove you nuts a little bit. Like, why get fancy? You're not doing well in the simple. Why go fancy? I don't get it. I'm with Tony on that one. Araceli, what do you need to see from the team in their performance this week to really get a result on the road?
I mean, more or less of what Tony said. He kind of nailed it on the head there. Otherwise, just try to avoid, just silly mistakes. I know it's a very broad answer, but that's kind of the reality of the team right now.
There it is. I'm going to say this right now. We're on the road, and one player seems to not enjoy playing on the road lately, and that would be Mr. Daniel Maldonado. All I'm going to ask is don't leave your feet unless you 100% know you're going to get there first. Like we don't need that. Um, Close in instead. You know how many times have we seen that from him on the road? Press the brakes a little bit, man. That's all I'm asking. And then of course turnovers in our own area. Like we just got to be mindful. Simple. Don't give the game away, and we'll be fine. Especially against this team, we play basic. We'll do well. All right, let's throw it out to you guys. See what your comments are. See where you are in the conversation. Only got a couple comments tonight. I know it's a little bit of a light one. Everybody's kind of tired. I get it. Here we go. Q Cardi. I knew this was coming, and here it goes. Chucky Lozano, and plead the fifth Garces. You like how he says plead the fifth Garces? That's cool. And you know how Araceli's smiling right now and putting her head down? We're not going to call on you for this, Araceli. It's okay. We're not putting you on the spot on this one, okay? Um, it would be fantasy, I guess, for some to get Chucky Lozano. Question is, how does he fit? And this I give it to the L3 supporter. Actually, I have two L3 supporters here above me. Tony, how would Lozano fit into this lineup? I'll just go there.
Winger FC is all I have to say. Winger FC.
Winger. We're gonna do another Vinyl Club minute with Winger because of this. I just know it. As bad as that band is. Yeah, Winger madness. I told you guys, it's always the wingers. Araceli, now I'll put you on the spot. Thoughts?
I agree with the winger, and also too, never say never, because we didn't think Gareth Bale was gonna come. We didn't think we would get Chiellini, and now look at us. So
Well,
just
Gotta
saying.
make a
I'm
deal,
just
but
saying.
yeah.
yeah, but Bale is kind of was on the end of his Real Madrid career, not playing that much, so that was his only option because he already had in his head that he was retiring after pretty much the World Cup, as you saw. And then Chiellini, love the dude, still can defend like the best of them, but this is like the goodbye tour for him, and I love him to death. And Chucky is still young, you know what I mean? Like he's not doing great,
Yeah.
but if in Europe, he can still probably do it in the Dutch league, or if he gets an opportunity in the Spanish league, the Spanish Premier League. So
All leagues that are more difficult than
But let me
MLS.
ask you this, out of curiosity, with that, like Chucky, I do see him, being one of those players. I completely agree. But do you see him doing something similar to like Pizarro, who's consistently kind of coming back and forth?
well, Pizarro has actually got sold to Europe recently.
Yes,
He
but
went
wasn't
back.
this like his second stint in the MLS? Because didn't he already leave before and then
Mm-mm.
come back or came back?
Not that I remember. He hit Pizarro's a different story because Pizarro wanted to show that you didn't need to go to Europe to be a big Mexican player, and you can just stay at home in CONCACAF to do that. That was his whole idealistic trait of trying to do it. That's why I said, while Chucky wanted to go out and go to Europe to get better, Pizarro had more of a mindset of like, I can just stay at home. I can stay on in the Western Hemisphere in CONCACAF and still be the best player on the Mexican national team. That was his whole deal.
So again, it's a different vibe. Like Pizarro's more of a target, isn't he, than Lozano, who's more of a creator. Am I
Mm,
wrong? Am I wrong in this
no.
in terms of role? I mean, I think it would be a different purpose, right? In terms of players. So I think you get something else from him. Definitely Lozano would be a better fit for what we do, I think, the way we approach the game. So that would work. It's just, what we really need? I know the luxury is fun, but I got to be old guy and be like, we need a number 9. I'm just going to keep saying it. We need another 9. Look at RSL now looking competitive all of a sudden. Oh, yeah, we need a number 9. Just saying. I'm there. All right. So cute. Dig it. Love what you said there. Q does have a tip for everybody going to Minnesota. He does say, like the beer hall they have in the stadium. I feel like I was there 60% of the game. Luckily, I was in the stands when Chicho scored that free kick on Tyler Miller. I love Tyler Miller, like conceding goals. I can't help it. I know he played for us, but God, he makes some players look so much better than they really are. He just does. It's amazing. Yeah. So Q, we love it. I heard the beer hall is huge. So there's your tip of the day from Q. Well done, sir. Well done. Let's see. Marcial says Joe's staying out of this. I'm being nice, okay? I'm being nice. At least I'm trying to. Panama. What the heck? Okay, moving on. Q
Panama,
Cardi. There he
Panama.
goes. I'm gonna call you Panama from now on. And every time you come on, instead of your name, it's gonna say Panama. Just because. Q Cardi says Pizarro was loaned to Monterrey from Miami, then came back. So there you go. Not to Europe, to Monterrey. So yeah, there's that. And Q also says that Chucky's in his prime like Vela. Yeah. Did you guys see, since we're talking about comments and rumors, there was one individual on Twitter that sent us a message claiming that somehow, some way, in the final year of Vela's contract, that they could pay him down out of DP status. Did you guys see that debate going back and forth?
Yes, I saw that.
Some were tearing his head off, saying he's wrong. Others saying, no, I think he's right. I got to be honest. The majority said he was wrong. But if he was right, and he was mentioning, I guess, the Galaxy got away with shenanigans. But remember, guys, it's the Galaxy. They have their own rule book. There's everyone else. Then there's the Galaxy's rule book, historically. Until now, they got caught finally. Or not caught. They just when, hey, now we're going to enforce the rules. Um, yeah, they were able to pay down mid-season. So it has happened before, and stranger things have happened in MLS. Again, funny money, funny money. So we'll see how that plays itself out. I don't think that's quite the deal, but again, we still have space for DPs. We do. Bella could stay on. It's fine. We still have space for another star player. Let's make it happen. Um, yeah, I get the Chucky vibes. It's just maybe that's why guys were playing the way we were playing, because every guy that was performing is threatened by Chucky Lozano showing up. Right? Am I not correct in this? That every guy that showed up in that game were guys that would be directly impacted by Lozano entering the lineup? Maybe not Sifu, but there's that.
Yeah.
All right. Am I wrong, Tony? Like,
No, you're not wrong. No, if it's like someone that's high caliber as Chucky is and well loved, I feel like people would be like, oh crap, especially since he is a winger. And look who scored. It wasn't
winger.
it wasn't Vela, it was a winger. So that's yeah.
When the best of the wingers showed up, the other wingers show up. There you go. So fun times, fun times. All right. Thank you, Q. Thank you, Martial. Thank you guys for putting the comments out there. Well done, all of you. All right then. Looks like we're at that moment, aren't we? That's right. We're getting towards the tail end of this thing. We're closing this bad boy out. We're getting ready to breathe. Enjoy the weekend. Seeing y'all guys. Probably Tony and I will both be at the party. Tony Panama over there. Yeah. He's gonna come with a Panama hat next time. Just he's so into
No.
the vibe. So into the vibe. I get you. I get you. I'll save it for later. You know how I am. Yeah, we'll be at the watch party. Head on out if you want. That's how it's gonna be. All right, all right. So let's close this bad boy out. So that is be our final thought. Araceli, you're gonna lead this thing off. You have the floor.
My final thoughts are simple, or I will try to make them as simple as I can be. First things first, with the watch party, as I always say, whether if the game is at home or away, please be safe. Please do not be an idiot. Always look out for each other. As for myself, you already know I will be in town very shortly, so I'm extremely excited to be back, see everybody again. And it feels a little weird to say considering I will be in town, but I'm actually going to take a little bit of a hiatus here because, as you all know, MLS Next Pro, things are really starting to ramp up. Next week, we're doing the Goalie Wars as part of the MLS All Star Skills Competition, along with the MLS Next Pro Invitational, and of course, both of our friendlies with Wrexham. After that, as soon as I get home, I go straight into Leagues Cup action. So, as these guys get to rest, I don't. So, but otherwise, yes, I mean, as always, it's just great to speak with you guys, do these little nightcaps.
We love that you come on. As busy as you are, still making time for all of us. We just love the trajectory. Keep doing what you're doing. Again, we're more proud than anything to see you moving up, and that you've earned it. So, yes, guys, support Araceli in the cause. Seriously support her in the cause. All right, I'm gonna go over to you, Tony. Sorry, Panama. What would you like to say, Panama? Final thoughts.
Make sure you drink a lot of water this weekend, especially when you're in downtown LA and going to the watch parties, because it's going to be a hot one. Just out here where I'm at, it's going to be in the high 90s. So you can only imagine what it's going to be in downtown LA, especially with the buildings, the everything. So make sure you have a lot of liquids of water, whatever you need to drink. Keep yourself hydrated. Also call a Uber, Lyft, anything that you need to get home safely if you overdrink, but always drink responsibly as any of these watch parties. And like I always say, go full 90 on and off the field. And what I mean by that is, of course, 90 plus supporting our team, but also in life outside, go full 90 as give everything you got, because you never know how long you have in this life and how long that one step can take you to your next destination. So make sure you do that, and I'll take it over for Bam since he's not here to join us. It's okay not to be okay. Reach out to your friends, to your loved ones, because you never know what they'll be going through. You never know if they're having a bad day and that's just like they need someone to talk to. So, catch up, grab a cup of coffee, go to a bar and grab a pint, play video games, watch a movie, something just to catch up and make sure they're all right. But it's okay not to be okay.
Well said, sir. And of course, look out for your friends. 100%. Check in on people, talk to people, keep communication going. That's the best way. Show the love. That's for sure. Part of staying golden, isn't it? On my end, I'm going to throw it out to you guys. Number one, supporters. Thank you for traveling once again. I hear there's good numbers heading up to Minnesota for this one. All love to you guys for making that trip. Be safe out there. Be smart out there and look out for each other. Number one. For the watch parties, I know more watch parties. Go out there, have a great time. Don't have a too great of a time though, right? Come back home safe. Stay with your friends. Do the smart thing. Get ready for the next one. Enjoy the break after this. Enjoy the All-Star game. But yeah, do it the right way this weekend. That is for sure. To Bam, we love you, brother. Can't wait to have you back on. Do what you got to do, man. We're looking forward to you getting back in here, and no doubt, man. All love, brother. And for the rest of you guys, guess what? It's that final word. Araceli.
Stay golden.
Tony Panama.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.